And maybe, like me, you probably ended up at some point in time going, this is stupid. I'm burning out, my body is falling apart. Just trying to get by in this world requires a lot of effort. It is very expensive just to live, and I think that's not coming from a lack mindset. I mean, just to be a human costs a lot. And we've been fed this idea that we need to pay for everything, all of our life, to pay with our life force, our blood, our sweat, our tears, our time, our non-renewable resources. And we do that for what? Some sense of safety or security? It's all bullshit. It all can be gone in an instant. It takes trust and surrender to live the life that you were truly meant to have. And I know that sounds just like the same crap that I have been hearing on YouTube for the last several years. And look, it's mostly right. I'd say it is right. And also what they didn't tell me about, what I didn't understand, is how much my own special flavor of trauma, of ancestral and genetic unprocessed baggage and bullshit that I was gonna have to wade through in order to be able to trust and surrender, especially because I come from a hyper control-centered society. And frankly, letting go has been much more difficult than I anticipated. It's, you know, all the metaphors, all the symbology that we can use in life in order to describe the concept of letting go. I had one person one time say it was very much like if you were stuck on the edge of a river, caught on a branch, and that branch felt like it was about to break, and the river was swelling and taking you fast and far away. Then that would be like, okay, if you hold on, then what's gonna happen is that it's probably gonna break, and it's probably gonna knock you around and carry you out to the ocean anyways. Or you could choose to let go of the branch and just allow the river to carry you on the path that it's meant to take you. Now, again, all well and good, but how does one do this practically? Now, my experience has been much more difficult because with an ADHD nervous system, I'm not like most people. And with an ADHD nervous system, there's more noise, more junk, more garbage that we have to filter out because some places in this world are absolutely bananas chaotic. And seeing life as it evolves in this ignorant, backwards world that frankly puts profits over people, it confuses me. It confuses you, I'm sure, too. Because what the fuck is this world that we live in? Where trash is strewn about with no concern for it, where people live in poverty in so many places, but since most of the more affluent world doesn't see it, it's really not a problem. The inequalities and injustices in this world are intense, and I'm not going to get into all that shit right now. Because what I want to focus on is the simple fact that you're here, and like me, you are different. You feel differently, you sense differently, you taste differently, you feel the emotional garbage and bullshit. YouTube! You have an experience of this world that most people don't. And so when your older generation says something to you like, well, back in my day, or, you know, why don't you have a house by now? Or why can't you be normal? Or which oftentimes they didn't say with explicit words, but they said it with their actions and the way that they hand out love. Now, look, I love my family. They're beautiful people. And also, we carry generations of garbage. You do too. How could you not have generations of garbage when you live in this world? This world is insane. It is one cluster of genetic pain and suffering and conditioning. And so you chose to inhabit this body like I did, and maybe like me, you probably ended up at some point in time going, this is stupid. I'm burning out, my body is falling apart. Just trying to get by in this world requires a lot of effort. It is very expensive just to live, and I think that's not coming from a lack mindset. I mean, just to be a human costs a lot. And we've been fed this idea that we need to pay for everything, all of our life, to pay with our life force, our blood, our sweat, our tears, our time, our non-renewable resources. And we do that for what? Some sense of safety or security? It's all bullshit. It all can be gone in an instant. Just wait until the next market crash and it's all going to disappear. Just wait until the next, whatever, on any time scale, there's going to be an inevitable challenge or chaos or catastrophe. And right now, humanity has been setting up multiple to happen all at more or less the same time. And so what you need to understand is that the path through is through. It's exactly that. We must go forth and start living differently. It's plain and simple. You have a nervous system like mine where you came here to be completely different. You came here because you were going to feel things differently. You were going to suffer more from the bullshit systems and the stupid squares and cubes that we've been forced into our entire lives. You're a person who has always felt that something was a little bit different, and bam, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so it's time. It's time to wake up. It's time to choose to be the warrior for your family's ancestry and to choose a different pathway for your lineage. It's time for you to choose something different so that your children can have something different, a planet that actually feels exciting and joyful to live on. Because I'll tell you, I have my moments when I didn't used to want to be here. Now, never ended up taking any action on that, but the point is that this place is nuts. It's crazy. I mean, and then you have beauty, peace, and calm. But the funny thing is, to get here, I walked through 4 or 5 blocks of tremendous chaos. And it's okay, because it all balances out. And if I show you this, then you're totally happy, because beauty, especially natural beauty, just does something to us. It shifts something on the inside. And so when you get to look at even this beautiful, yet just around the corner of my house landscape, something inside you will change. But that's not even yet getting into the water. And just wait until you get into the water. And look, you can snorkel, hallelujah, come on. You want to learn free diving or scuba diving? Oof, now we're talking. Now you can see some things that most people never dreamed to see, because they're not willing to overcome the fear and learn to train their nervous system in order to dive to depths that could absolutely kill you. And it also could be the most powerful and empowering experience of your life. So look, we are in the beginning of the next chapter. According to the Mayans, in 2012, we essentially passed through the eye of the needle. Time, a long, long time ago, we had the same amount of energy in, let's say, 1 billion years as we did the next million years. And then would get like 20,000 times or 10,000 times faster until time would accelerate so much that right around 2012, we would pass through the eye of the needle with so much more energy happening in the same moment in creation. And then we pass through the needle, and then it starts to slow down a little bit, and then it slows down a little bit more, and it slows down a little bit more. You see, we pass through the eye of the needle, but we're still in an intensified period of time. The stabilization of what is new and what is the new earth hasn't quite settled in yet. And that's okay. It doesn't need to. Everything is designed with a perspective of divinity that none of us humans will ever really truly be able to understand, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But it's really good to be on this planet and to ask questions about, well, what is that? What is life? What is the absolute insane beauty that you can show me? What is the possibility, like the endless possibility? You talk about endless possibilities, so where are they? I want to feel these endless possibilities. And that's why I come to places like Dahab, because here you can dive, you can kite surf, you can free dive, you can just chill on the beach, or you can push your absolute limits, grow and expand in ways that you'd never thought before, because you didn't know how to manage your emotions. You didn't know how to navigate your thoughts and your thinking patterns. So the idea was that you just didn't know how to do life really well. And there are people out there who do. But look, I'm not going to teach you some, system that tells you like how to change and how to be exactly who you want to be. I'm just going to help you to start walk the path. Walk the path. Walk the path with me. There is a path. Jesus didn't make churches. Humans made churches. Jesus simply said, this is the way. Hey, you know what? There's another way of being in life. Why don't you go this way? Right? You could be the guy that just comes out and chills on the beach and has tea, dancing and bumping to some sweet techno music like the party that I'm rolling up on right now. Or you could be somebody who comes to the mountains and wildly transforms their life. Only one guy saw it. That was awesome. Dance break. Oh, by the way, the dancing here is fantastic too. So what I'm talking about here, essentially I came here with no understanding of why I had returned to this land, where I learned how to scuba dive and free dive. I don't know why, but then someday I ended up having a ticket in my name. It ended up being something impossible to cancel. So I just said, fuck it. I'm going to Dahab. Been here for 4 months, and now I've met the woman of my dreams. I have just met today a potential partner who happens to be so positively driven with the same vision that I do, allowing me the possibility of developing a transformational relationship and creating something truly impactful, right? And I'm deciding to just record and share this journey as it unfolds, because I will tell you, there have been many times in my life when I didn't actually believe that I could do what I wanted to do. And that was just exactly what I needed to change, were all of those beliefs. I needed to reprogram, because I'd been taught from birth that luxury and material goods are the most important things to have in life, but at what cost, right? That car, really nice. I rented something similar in England, and it cost me $2,000 to fix a tiny little scratch on the front of it. Now this guy is a little bit more my flavor. That's something. That's your car?
How you doing?
Oh.
Sorry, I'll talk to you in a section.
What's up, brother?
What's up? How you doing?
Please introduce yourself.
اسمي طارق. In Arabic or English?
Whatever you want, man. Both.
I can say اسمي طارق. I live in Dahab right now, temporarily, and I make music, I do sports, and I love my car.
Oof. I mean, I was just complimenting as I walked by. Well, that was interesting. The guy that I met who has the nice car just enlightened me as to why it would be a terrible thing to own a 4x4 here. You have to have a permit that you have to renew every 3 months with an interview with like the secret police. Surrendering is a process that you have to learn how to do, because I didn't grow up in a faith or a faith-based community, and so faith is something that I've had to learn, and it is something that you can train. And that is a big part of what we do here. So, holy moly, that is the most neon blanket that I have ever seen. Let's see if I can capture that. That's like glowing in my eyes. It feels almost uncomfortable to look at. My vision is to create a place where people can come and not only unplug from the soul-sucking, soul-draining life that they've been living in, the one that probably their family and their culture sold them as being the most ideal way to live, and now they need a place to recover. They need a place to remember why life is so beautiful, and to reconnect with artistry and creativity and curiosity. And this place seems to want to bring people to do that. So stay tuned, because this is the most bizarre playground that I've ever lived in, and apparently it wants you to come sometime soon. So I'll leave it at that. More to come, and then let's just play this weird life and show other people that they can do the same thing too. If any of this made any sense to you, or if it maybe inspires you to recognize that you too can create the life that you desire and surrender and let go, so that your soul, that the creator, that your higher self can show you exactly what it is that you came here to do, and how you can have more fun and expand more as a human in the process. All you've got to do is get in touch with your heart and allow those visions that you have in your mind to really be anchored there. And once you're in that energy, then anything is possible. Remember this, your reality is speaking to you every day. Everything that your unconscious mind notices takes you towards your programmed beliefs. If you don't know what your programmed beliefs are, then your programmed beliefs will drag you like a man being dragged by chains behind a car. It will be uncomfortable and painful. But if you know what your limiting beliefs are, then what you can do is choose to reprogram them and create a different pathway. So at the end of the day, the most important thing for you to do is to be consciously aware of what limits you. Now, how do you do that? Great question. You need to get into the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is that which is responsible for around 95% of what you do, what you think, what you say, who you are, how you express in the world. And if you don't get clear on who that is and start to reprogram it, you will not become the better version of yourself, at least not in a fun and pleasant way. The good news is that there are lots of ways to do it. In fact, almost any ancient tradition can teach you a handful of ways to get into the hypnagogic state. Could be through chanting, dancing, singing, whirling, spinning, talking, silence. It could be literally anything. But it's just up to you to find which one of those actually supports you and helps you the most. Because at the end of the day, you are who you choose to be. And your practices, your commitments are the things that help you to form yourself. So for me, having conversations about being more technical in my diving so that I can go down to 40, 60, 80, 100 meters, yeah, let's go, yalla bina. But me, say for example, becoming a world-class kite surfer, yeah, I could step on that path, but I'm not gonna say anything until I have a chance to feel it, because without feeling it, I don't know shit. Click. So for me, the most important thing is to get to learn what do you want. When you know what you want, then the rest can easily fall into place. Your reality is speaking to you all the time. It's simply up to you to choose whether to listen. The weird part for me was learning how to speak back to my reality. That is a whole different story.